Good evening, weary travellers. Michael Gannon and Craig Swan. You join us from Rotterdam. Thanks very much for jumping on. Guys, see, before we start, more and more jungle drums about the arrival of Wilfried Nongi in Glasgow. Mick, I read your piece last night, quite interesting. You were suggesting that he could have his boots in the ground ahead of the weekend and be around at Easter Road, if not in the dugout, then in the stand for the game against Hibs on Sunday.
Well, listen, that is a distinct possibility at this point in time. This has been crawling very, very slowly for. Listen, I don't want to keep saying it, but I was telling you this 10 days ago. This was done.
You were.
Literally 10 days ago, it was pretty much done and dusted. I mean, once the talks went with Nancy and Celtic, it was pretty much sorted. And I think the Columbus crew did not want to lose Wilfried Nancy. They've offered a new contract in the meantime. They've been trying to keep him. They've been playing hardball when it comes to the compensation as well. And the fact he wants to bring 3 or 4 of his staff as well. So there's been 3 or 4 guys to organise at the same time. So it has taken a bit of time. It was like a week of kind of talks. I think that's pretty much now done and dusted, waiting for the I's to be dotted and the T's to be crossed. And it's a case now of coordinating when to kind of get it announced and get it over the line. I think he would quite like to go across and see a game. I think he was actually hoping to be at the Saman game at the last weekend. From what I gather, he was hoping to be actually at that game, or at least seeing the game. I think I watched it by now, obviously, but he was hoping to be there. Didn't quite work out because of the things going on behind the scenes. So all going well, he'll get himself across and get into to see that game. The view starting on the Monday. But it's pretty much just all there now. It's the case of we get the big fanfare arrival.
Yeah, Swanee, should Celtic fans be concerned about this appointment or excited by it?
Well, depends what camp you're in, Keith. We've spoken about it, that of course it's a gamble. All managerial appointments are a gamble. You look at his CV that he's gathered from Montreal and Columbus, and obviously with a coaching background, you have to say it's a gamble. But there's also a side of the Celtic support who will be correctly excited by it, because they're looking for Celtic to become progressive in Europe and maybe go another way about things. And you know, you want one of these young coaches to bring it forward. So the guy seems to be very highly recommended. He seems to be very highly touted. He seems to be well thought of. Listen, of course, we've spoken about it long and loud. Being a football manager in Glasgow is completely different to just being a football coach.
It's not for everybody.
We all know that. You know, we've spoken about it on here before. There are aspects to the job which go beyond football, which can make it tricky. You know, some of the things you have to deal with away from the football, and some of the things, the pressure that's upon you. So that's going to be all new for him. So from that point of view, of course, it's a gamble. He doesn't have any experience of dealing with that type of thing. But if Celtic want to go in another direction and they want to move in another way, then this is an exciting way to go about it. So you have to keep an open mind. I know there's been a lot of comparisons with Ange Postecoglou. I don't think that's correct at all, because I think Ange Postecoglou had a much bigger body of work. He'd been at World Cups, he'd done things, he had a lot more experience. So I don't think you can say it's the same as that. But I think in all of these situations, people should try and be optimistic and be excited rather than worried. But are you asking me if it's a gamble? Of course it's a gamble.
This is the city where the managers can get criticised for what they wear on their feet and what they wear their tie or not.
Yeah.
This is how This is Brendan Rodgers get a hard time for not wearing a tie at the start of the season.
Gordon Strachan told us what it's like when you go and put petrol on your car.
There's the managers getting chased for not wearing a suit and all that stuff. This is not a usual working environment in terms of football.
No, it's not, Mick, but he comes in at a particularly difficult time and a difficult, kind of delicate moment with the relationship, or the lack thereof, between the supporters and the board. Celtic crying out for unity. Does this appointment, does it give off a unity vibe to you? Do you think that all of a sudden people are going to get in line here, or are we just at the start of something with this internal sort of civil war?
Listen, I don't think Kofi Annan can achieve unity at the moment between Celtic fans and the board, but at least Wilfried Nongi is not associated with any of this. He's going in kind of fresh. He won't be kind of tainted by any kind of previous goings on, so it should be a kind of fresh start for everyone. I think Celtic fans, most of them, will have learned from the Ange kind of jumping at the conclusions situation.
Yeah,
we'll give them a bit of time. Like you say, see, this has been in June. I think it would be much less of a gamble. I think it'd be a bold, almost kind of impressive kind of move in June to get
innovative.
Innovative, yeah. Whereas passionate about now when he's got a cup final on the horizon, the league is well and truly on. There's a January window coming up. It's a bit as tough as it gets. But listen, fair play to the guy. He's willing to take on that challenge. He knows he's not coming in completely blind. He's not coming in thinking it's going to be all sunshine and roses. He knows that it's a tough environment, but he's backing himself to go and do it. So I think it's quite an interesting one. I mean, it could be sink or swim stuff, but it could work out really well for Celtic. And as you know, results on the pitch tends to kind of take away a lot of the angst and anger off it as well. Because I think
it can dampen things down.
Listen, I think that Celtic, some Celtic fans and the Celtic board have been too guilty of being getting ratcheting this argument up at each level. They're getting wrapped up in this kind of online kind of bubble as well. The vast majority of folk want to go to the game and watch their team. They want to moan a bit, by the way, they'll moan about signings, they'll moan about sackings, they'll moan about results, but that's as bad as it gets. Whereas the kind of the online machine that's manifested into these protests and all the rest of it is getting met with fire from the board who are reading this stuff and seeing this stuff, and they're both ratcheting up each level, and you think, he's already take a step back here. And
is incredible. I mean, these are experienced people that you think you've been in this movie before. Why have you allowed it to get so far out of hand this time? Now, before I move on to tomorrow night's game, which is obviously why you're there, the battle lines have been redrawn again over the last couple of days. There's been statements getting put out. Fans are becoming an even more entrenched position. Where do you think this ends? And this difficult question, but in terms of where Peter Lawwell is right now as chairman, Michael Nicholson, they're not past the maximum point of danger yet, as far as I can see.
I don't think it will, Keith. I don't think it will end until one of them ends up not having a job. There are certain people within the support who will not be satisfied until those guys aren't there anymore. Until
heads have rolled.
And that's that. We all know the background. People can sack the board as much as they want. It's not going to make any difference because you can't. The board can't be sacked. That's not how it works. It's not how the situation is.
No.
But I think the only thing that will offer any sort of appeasement, unfortunately, is a couple of people to leave. I think that's the only way they will come and end. I know what Mick's talking about results and all that will help appease. You would like to hope, for the sake of the squad and for Wilfried Nancy, that it will be separated. That the fans will come in, be really supportive and boisterous in the stadium and support the team and support the new manager, but then whatever they want to do elsewhere outside the ground before and after games and things like that, well, fine. They need to try and find a way to separate it if they're going to help the new manager, because Martin O'Neill spoke about it on Saturday night. Michael and I were both there in Paisley. The life was sucked out of the... I'm not saying...
Listen, Swanee, I know what you're saying, but these things cross-contaminate. There's no way. I don't think you can put the team into a bubble and say you won't be affected by this. They will be.
But try and keep the support positive for the team during games as much
around the team.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Around the team, I think it's taking an impact. But I tell you what,
I don't think it will happen. By the way, Keith, I don't think that's possible.
No, but you know what? A win on Thursday night. A win on Thursday night could, and change the mood music a little bit.
No, I think it's gone beyond that, Keith. In terms of the board stuff, I think it's gone beyond that. We spoke about this a month ago. 2 or 3 results ain't going to change how people are feeling now. It's gone too far. In my view.
Regardless of that, guys, not got a lot of time. With regards to tomorrow night's game, Thursday night's game, are you in confident mood for Celtic, or is this feeling like it could be another long Europa League night?
I don't think you can be confident for Celtic after what we've seen.
No, you can't.
In the last European campaign.
It's Celtic away in Europe. I mean, hen's teeth results. I mean, it really is. I mean, it's hard to kind of see anything but the usual kind of encouraging start, then goals piling in on quick on mass, and then a slight recovery, then more goals piling in.
Feyenoord have underperformed.
They've been poor this
season
as
well in the Europa League. They're actually beneath Celtic in the table at the moment. I think 3
So they need the win. That's not a good thing.
They're struggling and lost 4-2 at home in the league on Sunday. So things aren't, whereas Celtic went to Midtjylland, and Midtjylland are flying at the top of the Europa League. Everyone's buzzing. It's different with Feyenoord, but as Michael says, Celtic away from home in Europe, you can't be. Celtic fans can be nothing more than hopeful. None of them can be confident, not in what we've seen so far.
Well, boys, listen, we'll catch up again tomorrow. I know you've got Feyenoord presser and the Celtic presser later on. So until then, we'll see you tomorrow night in Hotline Live. Thanks for joining us.
All the best, Keith.
Catch you later.
Cheers, guys.